Welcome back to the channel, dear friends. I'm so grateful you've chosen to spend your precious time here, diving deeper into the transformative power of Buddhist practice. Whether you're new to the path or a seasoned practitioner, today's story will illuminate something profound, a way of chanting that is more than just repetition, more than ritual. It is a living method for cultivating wisdom, not just intellectual knowledge, but true, penetrating insight. And the best part, it's accessible to you right now. Let's be honest. In today's fast-moving, noisy world, it's easy to feel like your mind is scattered, distracted, or foggy. You try to focus, but the thoughts won't stop. You sit to meditate, but the mind resists. You chant, but you don't feel connected. You want clarity, direction, and peace, but they seem just out of reach. What if the key to all of that has been sitting quietly in the palm of your hand? What if the secret isn't doing more, but going deeper into what you already have? Today, we are going to talk about a method the ancient is used not just for spiritual devotion, but for awakening true wisdom. And yes, it involves chanting, but not just any chanting. This is chanting with intention, with visualization, with focus, and with faith. Let's begin with the Bodhisattva most closely associated with wisdom, Avalokiteshvara, the compassionate one who hears the cries of the world. You may know the sacred chant, Omo Gwanshi in Pusa, or its Sanskrit equivalent, Om Pani Padme Hum. But have you ever thought about using this name as a key to unlock your mind's higher faculties? Have you ever used it not just for prayer, but for transformation? The ancients believed that chanting the name of a bodhisattva was not just calling out, it was a mirror. It reflected your mind back to you. Your clarity, your confusion, your focus, your distraction. And in the process, it refined your awareness. Like water smoothing a stone, repeated chanting carved wisdom into the fabric of the heart. But even more powerful was when they paired chanting with a specific method, prostration and intention. Let's break it down. In the past, practitioners would wake early before sunrise, bathe, dress simply, and stand before an image of Avalokiteshvara. They would light incense, bow, and begin to chant, sometimes for 1 hour, sometimes for 3. But it wasn't just about clocking time. It was about alignment. Each chant was said with full attention. Each bow was offered with surrender. Each breath was infused with expiration for wisdom. And here's the secret: they didn't chant just to get things. They chanted to become someone new. One ancient master described it like this: when I chant the name of Avalokiteshvara, I am not calling out for help. I am calling myself back to who I really am. And that, dear friends, is where the magic begins. Because the more you chant with that kind of presence, the more your mind begins to change. At first, maybe nothing obvious, maybe just a little more calm, a little less irritation. But over time, the shift becomes undeniable. You start to see patterns you never noticed. You understand your emotions instead of being controlled by them. You sense the suffering behind other people's anger, and you respond with compassion instead of judgment. You stop reacting and start choosing. You begin to awaken. Let me share a real story. In ancient China, there was a young monk who struggled terribly with learning. No matter how many texts he studied, he couldn't retain anything. He was mocked, discouraged, even told he wasn't cut out for the path. But his heart was strong. He had faith. So he abandoned books for a while and focused only on one practice, chanting the name of Avalokiteshvara while bowing every morning and evening. Months passed. One night, while bowing, he suddenly saw light radiating from the statues. He was overwhelmed with emotion. And in that moment, something unlocked in his mind. He began to understand the teachings he had once found impossible. Words came alive. Concepts clicked. His dull mind turned sharp. Eventually, he became a revered teacher. Was it a miracle? Or was it the natural result of focused, humble, heartfelt practice? Maybe both. The point is your limitations are not permanent. Your confusion is not who you are. The mind can be trained. The heart can be opened. And chanting, when done with full sincerity, can be the bridge. So how do you begin? Simple. Choose a tie. Early morning is powerful, but any time will do. Light a candle or incense if you like. Face an image of Avalokiteshvara, or simply close your eyes and visualize light, compassion, and clarity. Begin chanting the name, an Omo Granchi in Pusa, over and over. You can use a mala, or just count on your breath. If you like, combine it with prostration as one bow for each name. If that's too much, just sit and chant. Let the words fill you. Let the sound become a wave. Let the vibration clean your thoughts. And most importantly, bring an aspiration. Not "I want more money" or "I want success," but something deeper. May I awaken wisdom. May I understand the truth. May I see through illusion. This is the fuel that powers the practice. Now let's talk about what happens over time. First, your awareness sharpens. You notice when you're distracted, and you return. Second, your intuition deepens. You begin to know what to do, even when you can't explain why. Third, your compassion expands. You stop needing to win. You stop taking things personally. You soften. And finally, your sense of self begins to shift. You become less attached to being right, or being seen, or being approved. You rest more in being awake, being kind, being present. And it all began with a name. This is not superstition. This is inner alchemy. Chanting is not about begging a deity for blessings. It's about tuning your mind to the frequency of awakening. It's about remembering who you are beneath the noise. The ancients knew this. That's why they made time every day, no matter how busy, no matter how tired, to chant. Because they weren't just building a practice. They were building themselves. And you can too. So today, I invite you to begin. One chant, one bow, one breath, and let the journey unfold. Because your wisdom is not lost. It's just waiting for you to return. And the name of Avalokiteshvara is one of the most beautiful ways to come home. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've used chanting as a path to clarity or transformation, I would love to hear your story in the comments below. Your words might inspire someone else to begin. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so we can continue walking this luminous path together. Until next time, may your voice be clear, your mind be bright, and your wisdom shine like the full moon over still waters. This completes the final article in this batch.